Activity 2. Create a resume. This activity should take place concurrently with Activity 1. Quick intro. A resume is an advertisement. The recipients of that advertisement are employers and recruiters. Here is the difference between TV advertisements and a resume. On TV, viewers can be brainwashed endlessly. In the case of a resume, there is no brainwashing. Your resume has only one chance to make a good impression at the potential employer or recruiter. This is because software companies and recruiters receive a lot of resumes every day, and unfit resumes go to trash without regret or a second chance. A resume is the presentation of your knowledge and your virtues. The word presentation has a primary meaning here. The main difference between successful and unsuccessful resumes is the effectiveness of the presentation. Your presentation is effective if the recipient 1. Completely understands your message, 2. Acts according to how you expect him to act. During a job hunt, the recipients of your resume are employers and recruiters. 1. Your message is your interest in employment. Thus, you should state clearly that you want entry-level tester position. 2. Your resume should motivate an employer or recruiter to call or email you. Thus, you should state clearly what you can offer, skills, experience, attitude. Use specific data. Use confident tone. Use good English. Smartly format your resume. Here are some practical steps for writing your first QA resume and doing it right. 6 steps to write your first QA resume. Step 1. Create a list of your achievements and your testing-related experiences. Let's talk about achievements. A good tester is not just a person who knows how to test code and file bugs. A good tester is an achiever. A good tester is a person who produces results. A good tester has an I give attitude. You want to show recipients of your resume that you are able to achieve strong results. In fact, each of us has something to remember in this department. Example, one of our friends worked at an electronics store before becoming a software tester. He was one of the top salesmen, and he naturally put that info on his first resume, and it worked. He got hired fast. Now he uses his selling skills to convince developers that bug fixing should not be delayed till the last minute before the release. Even if you just graduated from college, surely you can share some cool projects and situations where you took the initiative and did something extraordinary. By the way, it's likely that you won't be able to remember all your achievements at once. Not a problem. Create a note using some application on your smartphone and type down your achievements as you think of them. On the train, during lunch, walking in the park, etc. Create a comprehensive dirty list by writing down everything that you remember. Don't worry about filtering it now. Next, you want to rethink your experiences from a testing-related point of view and present your findings in a professional way. Example, Wendy works at a print shop. One day, a new binding machine arrived from Germany. Wendy single-handedly set up the machine and taught others how to use it. Should she write on her first testing resume, single-handedly set up binding machine and taught others how to use it? Nope, this is a bad description. We need something more confident, specific, and QA-related. Let's restate it in a more effective way. Created and executed test procedures to detect setup problems with new equipment. Organized and conducted training seminar on new binding technologies. Creating and executing test procedures was just a part of the setup activities for the new equipment. But Wendy's purpose is to showcase her testing abilities and demonstrate the correct usage of professional language rather than boring her recipients with technical stuff related to the print shop. Rethinking your experience from a testing-related point of view can be challenging at first, but once you start writing down things, dirty list, your memory will recall lots of useful items. By the way, wherever you work or study, make sure to keep records of important things that you do at your company or college. You can use Evernote or Google Docs for that purpose. Update your note or file regularly and use resume-like language. For example, you just explained to your colleague, Nina, how to create and verify credit card transactions using helpers from Test Portal. How to describe your actions? Not, helped Nina to understand testing tools, but performed personal training on credit card testing. Here is an example of the file, April 7th through April the 11th. Performed personal training on credit card testing. Wrote helper tool viewtime.py Unix time utility. Completed regression testing for checkout with credit cards, TS7122. April 14th through April 18th. Interviewed candidate for QA position. Organized meeting to discuss improvements in bug tracking process. Updated test cases for Tests for Rewards program, TS8341. The main reason to keep this file is that people tend to forget. You can forget about some of your accomplishments, especially if you have many of them, and other people, including your manager, can forget about your accomplishments as well. Another reason is that this saves you time in case you have to write a status report or fill out a quarterly self-evaluation form. Make a habit of updating this file, and you'll never regret it. Once you have a dirty list, it's time to sit down and modify it into a white list. Example, you can use this format. 1. Name and location of your current or previous employer, and dates when you work or worked there. For example, Some Company Inc., Sunnyvale, California, January 2017 till now. If you don't have any professional experience, you can use your college info in this area. 2. List of achievements and testing-related experiences. For example, created and executed test procedures to detect setup problems with new equipment. Organized and conducted training seminar on new binding technologies. Achieved 10% reduction in expenses by introducing ISO 25010 standard, and so on. Once you have the first version of your whitelist, 1. Modify the sentences of your whitelist so they start with power verbs. Accomplished, achieved, arranged, built, clarified, created, defined, designed, developed, discovered, documented, established, implemented, improved, increased, introduced, invented, maximized, optimized, organized, pioneered, produced, promoted, provided, reduced, saved, standardized. You can see a long list of power verbs in template section of our course. 2. Try to remember specific figures and numbers. In other words, measurable indicators of your achievements. For example, successfully introduced new processes that increase production output by 20%. Sounds more convincing than an immeasurable, successfully introduced new processes. Step 2. Put your whitelist with experiences and achievements into the resume template. Download the template for a first resume from Templates and fill in the section Professional Experience with entries from your whitelist. If you don't have any professional experience and during Dirty List whitelist generation you used your college info, name this section Education and Achievements. Step 3. Get QA experience as beta tester or U-test tester. First, let's talk about beta testing. As you know, employers want testers with experience, so get that experience. It's much easier than you think. Just Google the phrase beta testers wanted, and you'll find quite a few projects where you can contribute. Select several projects you like. If needed, become an official beta tester and start testing. Don't be discouraged if it takes some time for you to find good projects to beta test. Just keep looking and communicating, and you'll eventually find what you need. Try to expose yourself to as many aspects of beta testing as you can. For instance, it would be great to have direct access to a bug tracking system and be able to communicate with its developers, but this kind of situation is rare. Usually, you just send your bug reports to an email address or use a special web form to report bugs, concerns, issues, etc. Dedicate some time every day to beta testing. This is good for your testing experience and for your resume. Make sure to write down your achievements and professional experiences, for example, bugs that you find, recommendations you come up with, etc. This is needed to create a valuable material that you can put into your resume. Once you have enough stuff to write home about, create a whitelist of your beta testing experiences and enter it into the beta testing experience section of your resume. We want to stress two things about your beta testing. Don't be shy about reporting problems, and don't be afraid that the problems you discover will be made fun of. You know that you don't have much experience in software testing, and those who invited you to do beta testing are also fully aware of the fact that they are dealing with non-professional testers. Go ahead and report any problems you see and are able to reproduce. If you take this beta testing seriously, your professional skills in bug finding and reporting will grow fast because you'll be dealing with real projects and doing a real testing job. Show your attitude. You probably won't get paid for beta testing, but if you're able to dedicate some undivided time, for example, 1 hour every day, then you'll do well for yourself and the software company. It's likely the company will never even send you a thank you email, but you'll know that you took the job and did it properly. Now, let's say a few words about UTest. UTest became an important destination for both beginner QA testers and seasoned QA pros. On the one hand, UTest serves as testing provider for its customers, for example, Google and eBay, and on the other hand, UTest is a testers community where you can start doing actual QA work, ask questions, do professional networking. Things that we've mentioned about beta testing experience, about problem reporting, and your attitude are also applicable when you register and start working with UTest. What's cool about UTest work is that not only you'll have a chance to gain initial QA experience, but also build your personal reputation as a software tester. After working with UTest projects, you'll have very valuable entries in the professional experience section of your resume. Mentioning UTest projects in your resume will seriously increase your chances on getting a QA interview. And don't forget to name companies you did projects for and to use power verbs stating your achievements and QA experiences. Step 4. Populate the section labeled Software Experience. We all hang out on YouTube, a social networking site, or whatever sites we find useful. Guess what? Mentioning this can be really good for your first resume because they demonstrate that you are an active user of different web projects and thus have an experience dealing with various web applications. Also, make sure to mention your experience in dealing with operating systems and specialized software like Adobe Photoshop. Example, software experience, advanced computer user with PC, Unix, and Mac experience. Active user of social networking websites, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Active user of the mobile web. Advanced user of electronic payments, PayPal, Stripe. eBay merchant since 2012 with 142 positive feedbacks. Step 5. Populate all other sections of the resume. Name, address, personal summary, and education. Just list all needed information in a straightforward way. If, in addition to your college education, you have some relevant courses, Introduction to Unix, make sure to mention them as well. By the way, here is a quick note about the phone number you list on your resume. Give your cell phone number rather than your home phone number. You don't want to call from a recruiter or a potential employer to be picked up by anyone but you. For example, by your younger brother who might be enthusiastically chewing a crunchy green apple at the time and saying, "Jason boy is not home. Who the heck are you?" Step 6. Polish the language of your resume. In many cases, English is your second language. You might think that your writing in a foreign language is beautiful, but you don't want someone to look at your writing and say, "What is that?" Solution: you can find professional English-speaking editor via Craigslist or some short gig site. It could cost as cheap as $20. If you are a native English speaker, it's still a good idea to give that resume to somebody for feedback. And in any case, always use spell checker. By the way, you can also hire somebody for professional resume writing. That'll cost you some money, but might make sense because your resume will compete with hundreds of other resumes, and you want to improve your chances. In any case, the most important work is up to you, and it's about steps that we've learned today, remembering your achievements and professional experiences, rethinking your non-QA experience, getting beta and/or UTest QA experience, etc. Brain positioning. Once you send your resume out to the world, it will take on a life of its own. You'll have little or no control over its content. It can easily become available to anyone. Example 1. After you send your resume to John, he can send it to Mary, Sandra, and Steve, who might send it to other people, and so on. Example 2. After you post your resume on some recruitment website, the Google crawler can dig it out and Google would save it as cached search result. So your resume can be found via Google search even after you remove it from that recruitment website. So double and triple check your resume before sending it out. You'll need to have your resume in 3 formats. 1. PDF file. 2. TXT file. 3. Doc file. When you email your resume, use PDF. When you upload your resume using web form, you can use TXT version. Some recruiters still ask for a doc file. Have it ready just in case. Let's summarize. Main actions of Activity 2. 1. Write down your achievements and professional experiences. 2. Do beta and U-test testing. 3. Fill out the resume template. 4. If applicable, get an edited version of your resume from a native English speaker. Lesson recap. 1. A resume is an advertisement. 2. Your resume has only one chance at a particular employer or recruiter. 3. A resume is the presentation of your knowledge and your virtues. The word presentation has a primary meaning here. 4. You want to show recipients of your resume that you are able to achieve strong results. 5. The most important and challenging part of writing your first resume is to rethink your non-QA professional experiences and extract QA parts from it. 6. Beta or U-test experience will dramatically improve your chances for success, which is an invitation for phone, Skype, or on-site interview. 7. During resume writing, state clearly that you want an entry-level tester position. State clearly what you can offer: skills, experience, attitude. Use specific data. Use confident tone. Use good English. Smartly format your resume. 8. Use your cell phone on your resume. 9. Start sentences with your achievements or experiences with power verbs. 10. Use specific data in your resume: numbers, brand names, etc. 11. Always use spell checker. 12. Run your resume through a native English speaker if applicable, or hire professional resume writer.